Skip it up and that up. I think Microsoft is really sensitive about this subject because they keep talking about how the difference between the Xbox One and PS4 specs-wise is marginal. It's not that big of a difference. It's not a big deal. Microsoft's Australian Vice President of Sales and Marketing, Alan Bowman, was talking to Australia's Game Planet, and he was talking about same shit again. This is what he had to say. We're optimistic about this generation as well. We've got a unique value proposition, and from just a pure specs perspective, it's always going to be a fairly marginal difference. The purists are going to argue, but I think it comes down to the games. Here we go again. You're going to see great exclusive games on Xbox One, and when you look at the cross-platform games, this part kills me. There's going to be exclusive content on Xbox One. So basically he's saying, we've totally bought out third-party developers and we've totally made sure that a timed exclusive content and exclusive content for those third-party multi-plat games are only on Xbox One. Whoop-de-fucking-do. Look, I said a bunch of times in the past that I think the Xbox One horsepower and PS4 specs, there's not going to be a huge difference, even though the Xbox One is more anemic. But then the games started to come out when they launched, and we saw, Call of Duty Ghosts is only 720p on the Xbox One, and it was 1080p on the PS4. And then you had Dead Rising 3, 720p, and then you had Rise, Son of Rome, I had to think about that for a second, at 900p. There definitely was more 1080p native games on the PS4. However, if you flip things, all right, they have the Kinect. It may be tougher. I know because they have a slightly different architecture with an extra little bit of RAM on the GPU. It's not coming to my mind right now that it is tougher to code for the Xbox One. And these were launch games, okay? So they probably couldn't optimize them. They were rushing them out, and they couldn't get as much oomph out of the Xbox One that they wanted to. Now, we see games like Tomb Raider Fraud Edition, aka Definitive Edition, coming out in a week, and it's 1080p on both the Xbox One and PS4, and they're both games are going to have the game on both systems, is going to have Tress effects, which is the realistic hair. So now that this will be the year that we see if there really is that much of a gap between the PS4 and Xbox One. If we see multiplats late in 2014 looking noticeably better on the PS4, then the gap is bigger than they want to admit. The horsepower gap between the PS4 and Xbox One is substantial. But, I have a feeling now that developers could take more time and they're not rushing to launch to get the game out at launch for both systems. I have a feeling it is going to be a nominal difference, but it's also going to have to be wait and see, because if it is a big difference, that's going to look bad for Microsoft. If a game comes out in November of 2014 and it looks a lot better on the PS4, ouch. So let me know your thoughts on this. Do you think that there is a big difference spec-wise between the PS4 and Xbox One? And are you in the same camp as me and wish Microsoft would just shut the hell up about it and stop damage controlling it? Because the system's out. It's spilt milk. If we find out in late 2014 that multiplats look a shitload better on the PS4, what are you going to do now, Microsoft? Your system's out. So stop talking about it and just make some good damn games. Period. Anyway, folks, make sure to rate, comment, favorite, and subscribe. And as always, thank you for supporting Review Tech USA. Have a good one.